Listen closely, my friends, because what I am about to share with you is the one thing nobody in the self-improvement world wants to admit. You have been working against yourself, not because you are lazy, not because you lack discipline, not because you do not want it badly enough, but because the way you have been wanting it is the very thing keeping it away. You wake up every morning with the weight of it, the thing you are chasing, the goal, the life, the relationship, the success, the version of yourself that is finally where you want it to be. And you carry that weight through every hour of every day, grinding, pushing, forcing, believing that the moment you stop, the moment you breathe, the moment you allow yourself to actually relax, it will all slip away. And here is what that belief is costing you. Everything. Because the tension you are carrying, the desperate white-knuckled grip on the outcome, is not pulling you toward what you want. It is pushing it away. And today the Stoics are going to show you why. And more importantly, they are going to show you what to do instead. Before anything else, I need to be clear about something. This is not about doing nothing. This is not about sitting back and waiting for the universe to sort itself out. This is not permission to stop working. What I am talking about is something far more specific and far more powerful. It is the ability to work fully, completely with everything you have while being genuinely at peace with the outcome. That combination, full effort and zero desperation, is the most powerful thing a human being can bring to anything they are building. Marcus Aurelius understood this. He did not become one of the most respected leaders in human history by doing nothing. He worked every single day, under pressure that most of us will never come close to experiencing. But he worked from a specific place, not from fear of losing. Not from the desperate need to control every outcome, from equanimity, from the settled certainty of someone who had done the work and then released the result to whatever form it was going to take. And it was from that place, not from the tension, that everything worth having in his life was built. The first truth is simple. Tension repels and relaxation attracts. Think about the last time you needed something desperately, really needed it. The job interview where your rent depended on it. The conversation where you needed the other person to say yes. The pitch where everything was riding on the outcome. And think about how you showed up. Were you sharp? Were you natural? Were you the best version of yourself? Or were you slightly off, slightly too eager, slightly too rehearsed? Slightly too aware of your own performance to actually be in the room, because desperation does something to us. It makes us visible in the wrong way. Not visible as someone with value to offer, visible as someone who needs something. And people, opportunities, the fabric of reality itself, moves toward those who seem to already have enough and away from those who seem to need too much. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." The bravery he was describing is the bravery of wanting something without needing it to define your peace. The freedom of someone who can say, "I want this. I am working for this. And I am completely okay whether it arrives exactly as I imagined or in a form I never expected." That energy, that settled, generous, non-desperate energy, is the most attractive force available to a human being. And it creates, in ways that tension never can, the exact conditions for everything you want to arrive. The second truth is one that most high achievers resist the most, because they have been told their whole lives that the pressure is what produces the performance. That the stakes are what sharpen the mind, that the desperation is what drives the breakthrough, and sometimes, in the short term, that is true. But here is what is also true. The best ideas you have ever had did not arrive under pressure. They arrived in the shower, on the walk. In the quiet moment after you stop trying. In the space between sleep and waking when the mind is loose, free and undefended. Not at the desk, not in the grind, in the release. This is not accidental. When the brain is under stress, when the fight or flight system is activated, resources get redirected away from the creative thinking centers, away from the insight, away from the inspired solution, toward the defensive system, the threat detection system, which is extraordinarily useful if you are in danger. and profoundly limiting if you are trying to build something. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." The untroubled soul is not lazy. It is the most productive state available to the human mind. It is the state in which your actual intelligence, your deepest knowing, your most inspired and most aligned thinking becomes available, and relaxation, genuine physical and mental relaxation, is the door to that state. Not the reward for arriving, the door. The third truth is that amor fati, love of fate, changes everything. This is the Stoic principle that most people hear and immediately dismiss. Because it sounds like giving up, it sounds like resignation, it sounds like telling yourself it is fine when it is not fine. But amor fati is none of those things. It is the practice of genuinely loving, not just tolerating, not just accepting with gritted teeth, but actually loving the process, the timeline, the way things arrive, which is almost never the way you planned. And here is why this changes the manifesting equation completely. When you are in a state of loving the process, when the journey is something you are actually experiencing rather than enduring, your energy changes, your presence changes, the quality of what you bring to each moment changes. You stop being the person who needs the destination and start being the person who is already alive, already engaged, already showing up fully. And that person, the one who is fully present in the process, becomes the kind of person for whom the destination is natural, inevitable, already theirs in every way that matters before it arrives in physical form. Marcus Aurelius practiced amor fati every day of his reign. He did not love everything that happened. He loved his relationship with everything that happened. The distinction is everything. You do not have to love the obstacle. Love your capacity to meet it. You do not have to love the delay. Love what the delay is building in you. You do not have to love the uncertainty. Love the version of yourself that is becoming capable of handling it. That love, that genuine relationship with the process, transforms wanting into receiving, because the wanting says, "I need this to be different before I can be okay." And the receiving says, "I am okay right now, and from okay everything comes." The fourth truth is that what you want is already responding to who you are being, not what you are doing. This is the one that takes the longest to understand, and the one that changes everything when it finally lands. Most people believe that what they want is somewhere out there, separate from them, and that effort, strategy, and the right sequence of actions is what closes the gap. And effort and strategy matter. Of course they do, but they are downstream of something. They are downstream of the internal state from which they are being taken. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Our life is what our thoughts make it, not what our actions make it." Our thoughts, the internal state. The quality of consciousness that precedes every action and determines the quality of every result. If your internal state is contracted, desperate, tense with the needing, every action you take from that state carries that quality. Every conversation, every opportunity, every moment of connection is filtered through the energy of someone who does not believe they are enough, who does not trust the process, who is operating from a scarcity that other people can feel before you have said a single word. But when your internal state is relaxed, open, genuinely at peace, every action you take from that state carries that quality too. And the quality of relaxed, engaged presence opens different doors, attracts different people, creates different outcomes, because human beings respond to energy, because opportunities present themselves to people who are available to receive them. And available is the state you are in when you are relaxed, when you have stopped forcing, when you are genuinely present, genuinely open, genuinely at peace with the version of the process you are currently in. The fifth truth is that what you truly want is not the thing. It is the feeling, and the feeling is available right now. This is the deepest truth in this entire script, and the most liberating. You want the success because you believe it will give you security. You want the relationship because you believe it will give you connection. You want the recognition because you believe it will give you the feeling that you are enough. You want the money because you believe it will give you freedom. But those feelings, security, connection, enoughness, freedom, are not in the things. They were never in the things. Every person who has reached the destination, who has gotten the thing they were convinced would make them feel it and discovered it did not completely, not in the way they imagined, has learned this lesson the hard way. The feelings live inside, and they are available without the thing through the specific practice of choosing them. Deliberately, consciously, every day. Epictetus spent his life with almost nothing, and he was perhaps the most internally free human being who ever lived, not because of what he had, because of what he chose to generate inside himself, regardless of what was or was not present in his circumstances. When you access the feeling now, when you genuinely practice the security, the connection, the enoughness, the freedom, without waiting for the outside to provide it, you become the vibrational match for the thing you want, and what you are a match for, you attract, not because of magic. Because you make better decisions from that place, you show up differently, your presence communicates something different. The version of you that already feels what the destination was supposed to provide is the version of you the destination is looking for. So here is what all 5 truths are saying, in 5 different ways. The same thing. Relax. Not into passivity, not into giving up, not into careless indifference. Relax into alignment, into the genuine peace of someone who is moving toward what they want with full effort and zero desperation. Full commitment and complete non-attachment to the timeline, full presence and genuine love of the process, full desire and total openness to whatever form the arrival takes. That is the combination. That is the Stoic secret to manifesting everything worth having, not the grinding, not the tension, not the white-knuckled, desperate grip on the outcome, the relaxed, committed, present, aligned, trusting version of you doing the work, releasing the result. That version is who everything you want is looking for. Marcus Aurelius wrote this in his private journal on one of the hardest nights of his reign. Not for history, for himself. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The strength is in the releasing, not the gripping. The power is in the relaxation, not the tension. The manifestation is in the alignment, not the desperation. Realize this, and everything changes. Listen closely one final time. What you want does not need your desperation. It needs your alignment, your presence. Your relaxed, engaged, committed, open presence. Give it that every single day, and watch what happens. If this found you at exactly the right moment, share it with one person who is grinding themselves into the ground, believing the tension is what is moving them forward. Subscribe for new Stoic wisdom every single